So, day 3 of my media fast. Last night was a little hard. Multiple times I felt this intense craving to watch a movie, to watch something, to eat food. Both of them were just the same kind of like anxiety building up within my chest. And it was really challenging, actually. I mean, I really wanted that. And I fortunately was just conscious enough, not having TV on, to go, that's anxiety. That's something I've agreed not to do. That's not going to happen. But what do you really need? And I did work instead. I mean, the amazing thing about having no distractions around is that the only things you can distract yourself with are the projects you actually want to do something with. So I was actually quite productive last night. Eventually. But that anxiety, man, it's like sugar, you know? Sugar is the thing. And I wrote this whole little thing last night, one of my projects, writing about my hindsight 2020 video series about sugar addiction as a metaphor for the problem with our entire culture today. Thinking about sugarcane being extracted and, you know, turned into sugar, something that we wouldn't try to eat normally, sugarcane. But when you extract it into actual powdered sugar, it's like crack. It's just straight up addictive substance, like sort of bypasses normal human behavior of consuming actual nutritious food to get that sweetness with just the pure sweetness with no nutrition attached to it. You know, that's what we're doing with sugar, and that's kind of what we're doing with society in general. We're figuring out the brain wiring bypasses. What does my brain really want? How do I avoid all the effort involved and nutrition involved in the rest of life? I'm just going to bypass it and go straight to the addictive drug. And we've sort of condoned that. Not only have we let that happen, but now it's sort of part of capitalism, you know, is to how do you game other people's brains to manipulate them and force them into your addictive pattern. You know, that the cigarette lobby got hammered for that eventually after decades of lying about it. But every other industry is doing exactly the same thing, the food industry in particular. So, yeah, I was very aware of my sugar addictness last night. And media is the same thing. I have these little flashes of my favorite scenes from films. I'm like, oh, let's watch that movie. I'm like, yeah, you watched that movie not that long ago, actually. I'm like, yeah, but let's watch it again. I just really want that scene. It's like, why don't we just relive this scene in my head right now and skip all of the other junk that you don't really want. You just want that feeling of the excitement, that feeling of the connection, or that feeling of improving. Like these feelings in the movies are what you're drawn to. So I sort of talked my way out of that and said, you know, if it's video you crave, we're going to make some videos. It's that simple. And that's where I'm really tapping in finally, is that I don't want to be a consumer of all this stuff. That's not who I am. At a deep level, I want to produce content. That's where my soul engages. And that's where the sugar media junk food cannot keep up. It cannot, in fact, it puts my soul to sleep. But when I'm trying to create something, I have to reach down deep inside and actually pull it out and feel like I'm alive, feel the engagement with that topic and say, how would I approach this? How would I take everything that's come before me and analyze this problem freshly and see if there's any new insights I could bring to this? That feels alive. That feels really good. And even if I'm still just scratching at the surface of some topics, at least my soul is engaged. My mind is truly, fully engaged. I'm actually learning something. My audiobooks have been great. I've been loving listening to audiobooks. They're very stimulating in just the right ways. And then I've been noticing too, when I'm just tired of them, like I'm done, no more. And instead of just sort of telling myself what to do and letting things automate, I'm like, nope, pause that. Don't want to do that right now. So it's been good. It's been a little bit of a struggle. I have to say I'm missing affection mostly. I'm missing connection with people. And kind of more than I even realized. It's not even just, connection. Like, oh, I feel a little bit of fun over the phone. It's more this soulful thing. I need this soulful connection. I need to feel met at a deep emotional level. And that's not actually happening that much right now. And if anything is the root of addiction, it's this. It's the animal being not getting its needs met, or the soul being, if you will, not feeling fully alive, not feeling fully engaged. And so I distract myself with media or sugar or whatever it is in order to not notice that I'm hurting, that I'm crying inside. And so this is where I'm at. I've not broken my fast. I've done well. I went on social media a couple times to do a post or to quickly check something. And I as soon as I started browsing, like, no browsing, just cut it right off. So I've been pretty darn solid so far. But I do have to say I'm feeling the withdrawals. Exercise is really helpful. I feel much more powerful when I'm moving my body. And that's sort of what the opposite of what media does. Media sort of, zombies me, puts me into a cathartic consumer state. And when I'm moving, I feel much more like I'm in a productive, creative state. So I hope you're doing well with your practice.